5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. Hi, I'm Julianne Bond, and this is 10 Minutes of Bonding. My guest today is Laurent Nurisso. He is an artist who lives and works in Marseille, France, where he is joining us from right now. So thank you for staying up late. Laurent's been exhibited in London and Montreal, and of course in his home city of Marseille. From the way he describes his work, he is looking to break down barriers in his work and to find our shared commonalities. So Laurent and I met last summer in Arles, and I am just so delighted to be speaking with him today. Laurent Nurisso, welcome to 10 Minutes of Bonding.
Thank you very much, Julianne. It's lovely to see you so far away.
From far away. And thank you so much for setting this up in your studio. I love that you're doing it from there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I try to have some painting behind me, yeah, so.
I know, it's so great. Is this new work of yours, or?
No, the one behind me is in pieces. Actually, it was a part of a show in Vienna, in Austria. It was something about freedom, so I did a painting about all the different problems you can get if you're gay, if you're a lady, if you can be kidnapped by your husband, or racism, if you're black or Asian or whatever. So it was something about freedom, and it was something I was trying to make a strong statement also, because Vienna is a bit extreme right wing, so it was a bit of also a little finger on, being rude.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I'm really curious, your studio, I know, is in your home. So I'm just wondering if you're finding that anything about the way you're working is different now. If it is, how is it different, the way that you're working, if there are different kinds of challenges?
It is different because actually I've got more time. As you know, I work also as a tourist guide, so in summer I don't have any time at all. I put all my idea on paper, do a sketchbook, and simply I have no time to make the painting. So I do that in winter normally. And like now, I've got so much time, but I don't have all the material because I didn't plan the confinement, So I'm doing with what I've got. So it's kind of, the challenge is to be more spontaneous. I've been doing collage, I've been cutting out magazine, using like inks and oils and different material I've got nearby and things. So, putting objects together and having fun and trying to different the barrier between, I do work with a bit realistic and also abstract. So I try to merge and to blur the border between the two. So I'm just having fun basically and enjoying myself. So
yeah, that's really interesting. I guess you're right. I mean, I hadn't really thought about the materials, but of course, you were probably, as you said, you're not expecting to have as much time, and you're not expecting to have to kind of stock up on the materials that you might be thinking about.
Yeah. And I like to make my own frame also. So I like to stretch the fabric, and I make shaped canvases. So I like to make them first, make the shape, stretch the fabric, or like now I'm painting directly onto the wood. So I didn't have any big sheet of wood, so I have to cut like a little bit of leftover and use ready-made shape and just adapt my creativity with that. So
kind of I mean, I can see that. I can see that that the shapes are each of them kind of unique. So
yes,
that makes sense. You're
to be
making your own.
Square and things. So.
Got it. So given that you're that in that way things are different, at least as far as maybe you have more time available, and you are sheltering in. I mean, the way that we are here as well. Yes. Are there any particular routines or rituals that you're starting or that you've been using to kind of help you keep your life and your work in balance?
No, actually, I don't like routines. That's one of the things. I hate routines. So that's one of the things why I like to work for myself. as an artist or as a guide, or it's actually every day is different. I don't like to have to go to an office and everything, rigid. I don't like rigidity. So some days I just stay in a garden and read books, and a few days in a row I'm in the studio, and I will sometimes just ponder through my sketches, and I look at it, and I work at it and make it better. And some days I would just go in the garage and get all my piece of wood, try to make this kind of sculpture painting, and now it's getting ready to apply paint on it. And so it's a lot. I try to have something different every day. And the only routine I have is a dog, because as you know, I've got a big dog, and normally I like to walk her. We go in Provence, we go in the seaside, we do like long trek, and it's wonderful living here. Now we only allow 1 hour around the house, and one side of the house is a port, which is not open to the public. The other side is quite, it's just street. So I'm walking the dog on a leash and through houses, and it's a big dog. She doesn't like the leash, so it's like she's used to run free. So that's the routine I try to do. It's every day we have to walk the dog for an hour, but it's not the morning or the afternoon. It's whatever. I try to be keep it free. So every day is not the same. It's not a routine, and it's not boring, because that's something I can't cope with.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, even as you're describing it, though, in a funny kind of way, there are routines within your free form schedule,
Yes.
but how you fill that block of time is where it seems like you're getting your freedom, right? It's maybe you're still creating your art, but you're doing things in a little bit of maybe you're doing something different around that.
Yes. So important we have a small garden, so sometimes it's just gardening and doing the plants, and you can, when you're like that outside, you can think about your work, so you don't always have to be on a piece with a piece of paper, but you can think about it, and you let your mind go free, and you just
that's interesting.
So I always find when I'm in like I've done an exhibition and a tight schedule, I kind of panicky. I don't like to be in a box, I need to have that. I've always been bad like that. It's always been like
I don't know that that's bad. It just sounds like that's just who you are. So it's good you figured out a way to set up your life so that you have that. And I'm actually it kind of leads me to my next question, because I'm wondering, you as someone who isn't always at home, I mean, you're out a lot, either with the dog or with your other work with the touring. Do you feel like from spending so much time at home that you see your home any differently than you did before?
I see more the fault, the things I would like, to make better and things. So we started actually before the confinement, we're starting to tiles all the floor. So in the garden, so it's a terrace garden. So we digged out some plants, we created some new planters, we put some tiles, like ceramic tiles on the patio, in the barbecue area. But obviously some is not finished because the builders was not able to finish it. So, but everything is white and blue, very Mediterranean. And now we've been going through books on architectures, and especially in Mexico. And I'm like, I'm going to bring some bright pink and bright oranges,
Beautiful.
like the Mexican architect Luis Barragan. So I'm going to try to do something very small scale, but I've got like cactuses of a 4-meter tall. So I'm going to be a bright pink wall with it, and try to be, I think all my neighbors will be horrified, but never mind.
No, that's still so lovely. I love that you're doing that. So, I mean, this is going by so quickly. I think we have about a minute left. This is the question I always love to ask people. So during this time, a lot of people are looking for inspiration and comfort. And for me, I would say the place that I typically would look to would be poetry. So I'm wondering for you, where are you finding your inspiration and your comfort, if you like, these days?
Well, inspiration is a bit everywhere. I'm quite mad about things, and keep a lot of things. So, but comfort, I actually find some old boxes of old pictures, and I find I was traveling, so I find some pictures from 1991 when I did my first trip to New York, actually. And after Los Angeles, I've been to, actually, you forgot all the places you've been. I've been to Jordani, I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to many places. And actually, it's nice to see, because obviously I'm not a youngster, so not everything is on digital. I've got a lot of print and negative things.
Yeah.
So that's actually really nice. I find so many boxes of old pictures and like trips and memories and things. And it's like, it brings me a big smile again. All the things I've been in the past, I forgot, you know, sometimes it's just a small trip to Barcelona, or we've been something silly. We've been on the first month, Disneyland Paris open. We was there and we stayed for a few days, and there was nobody, and it was just, we had Mickey for ourselves, and it was just like being in America, and, you know, for things for us, it's like just other side of the world. And it was just fun to see all these kind of old pictures, and pictures also taken with old friend. And my best friend now was in Paris at the time, but now live in Kuala Lumpur. So it's
Kuala Lumpur, wow.
Yeah, so it's lovely to see all the old pictures. And I'm still here, but I'm traveling around the world again, so it's nice.
Yeah, but you're still right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I love that. I don't think anybody else has said that, so I love that you just said that. Anyway,
boxes of pictures. It's time to look for them, through them. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sharing memories.
Thank you so much for taking the time, for staying up late, because I know it's late in Marseille, but I very much appreciate it. It's been wonderful to talk with you, and I still look forward to when we can see each other again in person. Hopefully that will be one day soon. In Marseille or in New York, wherever we can do that. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching today, and I'll be sharing this interview with Laurent's website and his work, so that if you want to know more about him, and it'll be all over social, my pages, if you follow those. It's on YouTube, it'll be on my website. Anyway, so thank you, and I will be back on Thursday with my next guest. In the meantime, everyone take care. And Laurent, thank you again
take care
for joining me.